day, good day, good day. Welcome to the program Marriage and the Family. Welcome you all. Yeah, welcome to the program Marriage and the Family. It's always good to have you all. It's always a privilege to come your way and for us to discuss um, the way forward concerning marriage. So welcome to your program, Marriage and the Family. Um, it is always good to be here. Always good to bring you um, greetings and for us to discuss relevant issues. Like I said, as it relates to marriage, is key. Very, very important. Very important to discuss the issues of marriage because, like I always say, marriage is it's important for the society, for the community, and for the nation or for the country at large. It's very, very important, and that is why we've made it our business to on a weekly basis for us to come in and discuss important issues relevant to marriage. It's very, very important. Very important that we discuss the marriage issue. So again, I want to say welcome to the Tuesday edition of the marriage and the family program. And please, you can share the program, share the broadcast. Please share the broadcast to your friends, to your families, to your loved ones, so that they themselves can also watch it. And just in case you're married, it is good for you. And if you're intending to get married, it's also good to listen. It's good to listen. If you're intending to get married, that is a very, very that's a very good thing. If you're intending to get married, so yes, it's marriage and the family, and we're glad again to be your host this evening, and I pray that the few minutes we got, we will discuss, or we will touch on a few things that we need to look at. The few minutes that we got. So let's, yeah. So there are a number of things we're going to talk about here today. The first thing is that marriage is like I always say, is very, very, very important. Marriage is very, very important, and it's important, and the the level of juvenile delinquency that we have in our country or in the countries um, primarily is due to the lack or the lack of or the inability of marriages to stay on or to hold on, and that is the problem, the ability of marriages to stay on, and as long as that it is, we will have the problem that we're having. Because listen, when you don't have a marriage, when you don't have a good home, there can be no upbringing. Now, I know there's some people who grew by themselves by the grace of God, but by and large, it's important that the marriage serve its purpose. Okay, it serve its purpose. Now, if you were didn't talking about marriage, right? One of the examples that I like to follow, when we talk about marriage, is the Caesars. The Caesars, yeah, the Caesars. The Caesars is a very good example, when you talk about marriage. The scissors is a very, very, very good example. It's a very good example. You know, the scissors model an ideal. It give an example of what an ideal couple should be. It gave an example of what an ideal couple should be. So I want us to look at some lessons today, and we may not finish it today, but let's just start now. And look at some lessons. Every couple should learn. From the scissors. Every couple should learn the lesson from the scissors. So that they can become better couples and build an enviable homes. So every couple need to learn from the scissors, the examples of the scissors. Now, the first thing you got to consider about the scissors, right? The scissors are always two pairs, right? The scissors are always two pairs of scissors. The scissors are always two pairs, and that is where it is useful. That is where its usefulness is in the two pairs, because if you remove one pair of the scissor is no longer useful. But the scissor is useful with the two pairs. That's where its usefulness is. Now, so once you see one part of the scissor, one part and the other part is not there, it means that scissor is useless. It means that scissor is useless. It's useless. Okay? And it's useless no matter how beautiful it might look. But once one part of that pair is missing, it's useless. And the effectiveness, right? The effectiveness of every marriage is lost. The effectiveness of every marriage is lost when couples are not together. So just like the scissors, the two pairs are necessary, to cut. When one pair is out, it's useless. So in the same way, the effectiveness of every marriage is lost when the couples are no longer together. Just like the scissors, the effectiveness is lost when they are not together. In every aspect, whether physically, whether emotionally, whether mentally, spiritually, in every aspect, one part is missing when they are not together. Then it's useless. It's useless because the effectiveness is when they are together. So you know that separation and divorce obviously destroy that effectiveness, right? Yeah. Separation and divorce will obviously destroy that effectiveness and the usefulness of every marriage. Separation and divorce destroy the effectiveness, the usefulness of every marriage. So just like the scissor, they got to be together. The pairs has to be together. The pairs has to be together. The pair has to be together. And so separation is not only when you are separated physically, right? No. Separation is not only, in terms of separation I'm talking about, it's not when you are separated only physically. No. Not only physically. And you are no longer living together. No. There are many couples who are together under the same roof, but spiritually, emotionally, sexually, financially, and socially, they are separated. They are separated. So separation is not only means that you in the north and the other one is in the east. No. You can be under the same roof, but yet you can be separated. You can be living under the same roof, yet be separated. One is sleeping in a stranger's room. One is sleeping in the marital bedroom. They pass by one another. They just say hi, but they do nothing together. So they are separated in every aspect. So in terms of separation, it's not only in a physical. She moved to the other town. He moved to the other city. So we are we are 5 hours apart, we are miles apart. No, that's not what separation only means. You can be separated. You can be separated spiritually, emotionally, sexually, financially, socially. You can be separated. Yeah. So it doesn't only mean physical. Okay? It doesn't mean only physical. So, and are you sure and your spouse are not separated in these ways? I'm asking the question. Are you sure? Because in terms of separation, you say, "Oh, we're not separating. I'm not going. I'm staying here." Are you sure you're not separated in this manner? Are you not separated spiritually? Are you not separated financially? Are you not separated emotionally? Are you not separated sexually? Are you not separated socially? Are you not? Are you sure you're not separated in these areas? Because real separation is not only the physical. It's not only physically. Listen, you can be separated physically, but yet be connected. Okay? But you can be together, you can be connected physically, you can be together in terms of location in the same house under the same roof, but yet be separated. So when we talk about separation, it's not only in terms of physical. You move north, you move south, you move east, you move west. No. You can be under the same roof, but be separated. How? Emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, sexually, and every other area you think you can be separated. So are you sure are you and your spouse sure that you are not separated in this manner? Are you sure? Are you sure? Because this is where the real separation is. This is where the real separation is. You're in the same house, but like they always say in Liberia, you like June passing by July, just passing by one another. One person move in a guest room, I don't want in the marital bedroom. Separated. Okay. So are you sure you're not separated in those ways? So that's the separation. When one pair of the scissors moves and leave under this one is useless. This one is useless. It's useless. They are not together, and if the couples are not together, the effectiveness of a marriage is no longer there. Marriage, the effectiveness of the marriage is when the couples are together, just like the scissor. Just like the scissor. The two pairs of scissors. The scissors is useful. No matter how beautiful the scissor might be, if one pair is out, the whole scissor is useless. I don't care whether it's a golden scissor. I don't care whether it's a silver scissor. I don't care whether it's a diamond scissor. One pair renders it useless. In the same way, with marriage, couples are not together, they are separated, the effectiveness of marriage is lost. The effectiveness of marriage is lost. It's lost. It's lost. So it's key. So that's example number one. That every couple should learn from the scissors. That together makes it effective. Apart, rather, is ineffective and useless. That's number one example. That the couples can learn from the scissor. There's another example that the couples can learn from the scissor. Together, the togetherness of scissors is not automatic. The togetherness of the scissor is not automatic. No. You just don't see scissors come together. Blah. No, it's not automatic. It's not automatic. Do you know for every pair of scissors that joins like this, there is a small bolt or pin. There's a small bolt or pin that fixes the scissors together in the middle. Here, there's a small bolt or pin that joins them together in the middle. There's a small bolt, there's a small pin that joins the pairs together in the middle. In the same way, if couples must be bonded together, like the scissors, there must be bolts that must fix and wed them together, that will make them inseparable. Same as the bolts are. So remember, the scissor is not automatic. There's a small pin or bolt that is there. Fix it in some kind of way that keeps them together. So in the same way, if couples must be bonded together, like the scissors, there must be bolts that must fix and wed them together, that will make them inseparable. And what are some of those? What are those bolts? Some of those bolts that needs to join the couples, wed them together, make them inseparable. Some of those bolts are: number one, the presence of God. The presence of God. The presence of God will be number one bolt that weds the couples together. The presence of God. The second bolt, or the second knot, as you call it, or the second pin, as you call it, that clips them and wed them and keep them together, will be openness and trust. I said, will be openness and trust. Openness and trust. Number one bolt that will tie them, that will pin them together and make them inseparable, just like the scissors. Number one bolt will be the presence. The presence of God. The presence of God. The second one will be openness and trust. Openness and trust. You know, like most time when I talk about communication, right? I always say open and earnest. Open and earnest. In a marriage, everything should be open to one another. The Bible talks about Adam and Eve. They said they were both naked, they were not ashamed. It's not that literally means that, it was not, normally, it was not referring to their being, physically naked, but it also means that they knew one another's secret. They knew one another's shortcomings. They were open, but yet they were not ashamed. So you should have openness and trust. That's the second bolt. That's one of the bolts that bind that ties couples together. Can I give you another bolt, another pin that ties, like the scissor, ties couples together? Another bolt will be unity. 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 Keep them together. Unity will bind them together. So bolt number one of the bolts, now there are several other bolts that are naming now. So one of the bolts will be, the first one, and the most important one will be the presence of God. The second one will be openness and trust. The third will be unity. And the fourth one will be a healthy and joyful sex life. A healthy and joyful sex life. I know many times, um, sometimes, especially Christians, right? Um, Sex is nothing that So you talk about say, it's nothing that most people want to talk about. But that is one of the bolts that keeps marriage together. A joyful and healthy sex life. Then there's another bolt that also keep the couples like the scissor together. And that one is called family vision. Family vision. Family vision. Now, I didn't say individual, I said family vision. We keep the couple like the scissor together. Can I give you another bowl? Another bowl that keep like the scissor that keep the family together, keep couples together. It's good family finance. That's how we're talking about, talking about finance, and it's good family finance. Know how to organize your finance. Because a lot of the issues that bring problems in marriages is the issue of money. The issue of money. But you have good family finance, you know how your spending is going. Like I said before, in terms of good family finance, like I was saying, you don't credit beyond, don't credit because some people credit so much that time to pay the debts hold their here. So what happened is the men now have to do a 2 job, the woman do a 2 job, and then what happens? They don't even have time to meet. They don't even have time to talk. When he is coming, she going out. When he is coming, he going out. So when they come, they jack out maybe 1 or 2 hours to sleep and nothing, no talking. Now, when you do that, you put the marriage at risk. You put the marriage at risk. So good family financing is good. It's good. You may not be making much. You may not have. Listen, talking about good family financing doesn't mean you got millions, you got thousands. Even the little you have. Good family financing means you are managing it correctly for the benefit of the family. That's what good family financing is. And the last pin that binds couples together, like the scissors, is a hot family altar. You know what an altar is? A hot family altar. A hot family altar where prayers are going on day by day. A hot family altar. So you see, couples can copy, have a good example of the scissors. The scissors gives a very good example of what couples should be. Again, like I said, lesson number 1 the couples can learn from this is that the pairs of scissors, they got to be in pair. It got to be in pairs. When one is out, the scissor is useless. When one is out, the scissor is useless. No matter how beautiful that scissor might be, whether it's a golden scissor, whether it's a silver scissor, whether it's a diamond scissor, as long as it's no longer a pair, it is useless. In the same way, the couples must always remain together. Must remain together. When one is gone, the effectiveness of the marriage is lost. The effectiveness of the marriage is lost because the marriage is effective, just like the scissor. couples are together. And like I said, separation, it does not only mean that, you move to the south, you move to the north, you move to New York, you move to Manhattan, or you move to Minnesota, or you move to Chicago, no, or you move to Nuclear, the other one move to Point, or you move to Peaceville, or somebody you move to Broward. No. It's not that, no. Separation also means that you can be under the same roof and yet be separated. You can be under the same roof and yet be separated. You can be separated spiritually. You can be separated emotionally. You can be separated financially. You can be separated sexually. Oh yeah. So like I said, you can be under the same roof, but one person sleeping in the stranger room and another person sleeping in the married room. That's separation. So make sure that you are not separated in this manner. Because there are a lot of people who are living like that. I say, oh no, we're not separated. No, you are. Not because you're under the same roof, you are not separated. You are. You are. You are. And just like I was saying, the second lesson I was sharing was the togetherness. And I said there's a pin, there's a knot, a bolt that keeps the scissors together. The scissors don't just automatically come together. There's a bolt that keeps them together. Some little small knot that keeps them together. That enables them to go, back and forth. That keep them together. And I was just sharing with you some of the bolts, or some of the knots, or some of the pins that can keep marriage together. And quickly, because as I close, let me just run through them again. I said number one pin that keeps the couples together is the presence of God. The presence of God. There's a song that we used to sing, and I'm sure people still sing it. It says, when Jesus is in a family, what is that family? It's a happy, happy family. When Jesus in a family, it's a happy. So in other words, when he's holding it together. So number one is the presence of God. Number two, I said openness and trust. Openness and trust. Some people can really lie. You gotta be open. Nothing to hide. Gotta be open. Openness and trust. And number three, I said unity. Unity. Number four, I said healthy and joyful sex life. Number five, I said family vision. Family vision. I didn't say individual, family vision. I talk about good family financing. Managing the money, the finances of the family correctly, not recklessly. You all agree on what to spend, how to spend it for the betterment of the family. Good family financing. And then lastly, I said a hot family altar where you can pray daily. Where you can pray daily. But you know what? I tried separating the scissors, but the pin was so deep. The pin was so deep into the scissors that it was not easy for me to separate them. The pin was so deep. In the same way, when the pin that joins the couples together is so deep, when the presence of God is so deep, when the presence of God is so deep, when openness and trust is so deep, when unity is so deep, when a healthy and joyful sex is so deep, when family vision is so deep, when good family financing is so deep, when family altar is so deep, to separate those couples will not be an easy thing. So, I will end here. But on Thursday, we'll look at lesson 3 and hopefully lesson 4. Because you can learn a lot from the Caesar. Marriage couples can learn a lot from the Caesar. The Caesar says as a good example of what marriage should be. It serves as a good example. It serves as a purpose, a good example. The togetherness, the separation. Togetherness makes it effective. Separation renders it ineffective. It makes it useless. No matter how beautiful the sister may be, whether it's a golden, a silver, a diamond, or any other description, no matter how precious it may be, once they are not together, they no longer become effective. So I want to end here, and I want to say thank you for joining. Share the broadcast, and catch me. I'll catch you again on Thursday. We'll be looking at lesson 3, lesson 4, and hopefully lesson 5. But there are lessons that you can learn. Couples need to learn from just the season. Very important lessons. And I hope today's discussion was a blessing. And like I said, if you want to participate, or you just put in your comments, and I'll read your comments. And I just want to say thank you again for listening. Share the message, share the broadcast. I'll see you next week. I'll see you Thursday, not next week. I'll see you this week, Thursday, with another edition of the program, Marriage and the Family. Until again, have a good and a godly day, and I'll talk to you again on Thursday. Bye-bye. God bless you.